Record. So thank you guys. I'm so excited to talk with you tonight. I love seeing all your faces. Who is this in the corner? Oh, Suzanne. She's probably with her kids. But yeah, I just wanted to first say thank you for calling in. This team's really doing awesome. I'm so proud of you guys. I think we're really closing out the month strong. I know, Michelle, you have a lot going on. I'm so excited that you're on board. You're going to be enrolled super soon, and I'm so excited for you. And the fact that you're growing a coach under you already is huge. So that's something to be super proud of. So congrats on that. And we're going to keep pushing forward, and we're going to have a really great month in March. I don't know who's planning to do the 22-minute hardcore. Lisa, are you planning to do that? No? Why? Oh my God.
Well, I quit my job, so I don't have any money.
Oh, okay.
But I want to do it eventually. It's on my list.
Well, that's a goal. So make some money so you can buy it. There you go. I'm super excited. I mean, to be honest, like, if we start it this month and we have results, then you can share it, and then you can start with, you can still get people to do it when you want to do it. And then you guys can do it together. So that will still be extremely positive. So I see Lindsay's on now too. So yeah, so tonight I really want to talk about the power of sharing your story. I know we talk so much about our why and posting on Facebook, but I really want to dig deeper tonight and really I think there's a lot of new coaches on this team. I know I have a lot of new coaches who, I'm telling them about the daily disciplines. I'm telling them you need to post every day. And it's just not happening. So I'm thinking to myself, why isn't it happening? Why do coaches kind of have this struggle where they feel like they can't get over this hump and they feel comfortable putting their story out there? I can talk all day about the value that it brings, but I think if we really can't connect personally with why it means something for us, and it's not just to make a sale, right? Because we know, seasoned coaches know the empowerment you can get from posting and really what it does when you do put your story out there and the positive feedback you get. I know the first time I shared a before and after picture, I was like, what am I doing? This is crazy. Who puts this on social media? My family was like, what is wrong with you? But then everyone, including myself, saw this pouring of support and excitement to want to join my journey. And just, the support from people acknowledging how hard you worked and what you've been through, and that, things aren't easy for you either. And you have the same 24 hours in a day that we have, and you're still pushing through to reach your goal. So that's so powerful. But again, I want to dig deeper into that instead of just saying, hey, post, it's important for your business. But I really want people to understand, and all of the coaches in this team to connect with really what that means and the gift that you're giving others by posting. So, everyone can get better at creating and sustaining resilience. Resilience is a word that they really talked about at leadership, and it's something that I've been thinking a lot about. And, all of us, I'm looking at the faces right now, and I'm pretty familiar with all the coaches on this call, and it's we've all been through tough times and adversity at some point in our life. We've all had struggles that we've had to overcome. Some people, they're more sad than others, and they dig deep, and it really when we talk about having a why that makes you cry, what is it that really wanted you to start coaching and wanted to give back to others? Those deep things that you maybe struggled with that you want to give back. So we all have these things that are pretty tough to overcome. We get through them at some point in our life, whether we feel like it's alone or we get help. It doesn't matter. Humans, guys, all these people on this call, when I look at you, I all see these such strong women, because I know what you've gone through, and I know what you where you're trying to get in your life, and it's a constant journey. And that's an exciting journey. And I think we all get caught up in our everyday lives, and we forget how big of a deal that is. We forget how difficult it is to overcome the things that we've been in our life. And yeah, we think we just bounce back and it's fine. It's everyone goes through struggles. So I need to overcome this, and I just have to keep pushing forward. Yeah, we all need to overcome our struggles and keep wanting more and pushing for more. But that's not something to take lightly, guys. There are people, thousands, millions of people in this world that are struggling to get over some incredible, amazing things that we have all gotten over. So think about that when you're thinking about your story. Like, your story is more impressive and more inspiring than you probably ever remember on a day-to-day basis, because you're resilient. You're just pushing through each day, doing what you need to do to get by, taking care of your kids, pushing through your workout because that's what you feel like you need to do as a person. But remember how empowering and inspiring that is for others. So, there's a lot of good advice out there about like how to increase resilience. And one of the things that stands out for me is focusing on the benefits of sharing your story. So, that emotional autobiographical storytelling part of this opportunity is really something to embrace and something to be super excited about, and it's a gift that we get to give people, guys. Like, I was thinking about that today, and I love that because it's like, it truly is a gift. It's a gift that something that means so deep into you, and you have the opportunity to truly inspire people's lives. So, thinking about it as a gift of my journey in order to give to people. I have been so surprised through my journey, like I was just saying on the beginning of this call, is what this does for people, like the power of this emotion and sharing your struggles that you've gone through in your life. Like, there have been some things that I've shared that have been really difficult to share. But again, once you share it and you share it in a way that has, thought behind it and it has meaning, and you can feel the emotion. I mean, I'm sure we all follow Beachbody coaches, and you come across those posts where you read it and you feel it, like you feel their pain and what they've overcome. And regardless if you can actually even completely relate to it, it means something to you. It touches you as a person. And I think that's something to kind of think about too, because we keep thinking about our niche and like we're being so hard on each other about like, well, do I know my niche? Do I really know the target group that I'm going after? But at the end of the day, you can still inspire people with your journey, even if they don't completely understand it. If you use the right words, if you really put yourself out there, I don't want to say half-ass it, but you know what I mean? Like owning your story and being proud of what you've been through and what you've overcome, and understanding that there are so many people that would be truly inspired by that, even though it's really hard in the beginning to get to that point to share. So, when you think about your stories, one thing I learned when I started posting and started this journey was the importance of not just telling the story, but like writing it down and knowing what you write down, like knowing how that's going to inspire others. So like write down it and read it, like have others read it before you post it, if that helps. Like see if like someone close to you gets that feeling and they feel like it's genuine, and you're sharing every part of your story to the point that it adds that depth and it makes people really connect with it. It's funny. It's like writing it down and just sharing it with yourself doesn't have the same effect on one than sharing it with the public. And this is a weird thing because coaches are so hesitant in the beginning to share their story because they're scared. They're scared of being judged. They're scared of people defriending them. They're scared of them having the wrong idea. But the truth is, if you don't share and you sell, that's when people are going to defriend you. But sharing your story in a way that you truly are putting your heart out there and it's good intentions and you're just sharing what you've overcome because you truly want to inspire people, and say that, like tell them like, this isn't easy for me to share. Like when I shared the first time about my eating disorder, like I remember sitting there and like going to press post, I think like 20 times, and I like wouldn't, and I couldn't, and I didn't. And I still got shit from people. I got shit from my family for putting it out there. But what I tried to explain to them is the support that I got and the messages that I got and what I know it did for other people, regardless if they even reached out to me and have bought a program. It empowered me. It made me, feel free from that part of my life, and proud of myself for overcoming it and being able to share that with the world, and not being ashamed of something that I spent a long time to overcome. I was lucky that I didn't have to get medical help in order to do it, but it probably would have cured it sooner if I did seek help. And that's maybe part of my story that I still haven't shared, that, I wish I had a Beachbody coach. I wish I had a mentor and someone that I felt comfortable with that could have helped me through this. So that's what it is about, guys. Like it's about that why, and like why you wanted to get started as a coach and helping people to overcome these things. So, when we think about sharing and the benefits that it does and the effects it can have on people, realizing that sharing your story can help others. And again, I know this sounds like, oh, well, we already know this, but really thinking about it and thinking about what your stories can do for people. People, like, stories can be healing. And again, we're in the business of helping people. Like, don't think of this as immediate sale. Like, it can't be that way. When you're sharing your story, you have to just want to be excited to inspire people on a daily basis and put it out there, because I'm telling you right now, it takes a little bit of time. Like, I have a new coach right now. She's like, I'm finally doing it. Like, I'm posting every day. I did my before and after, and like, no one's still buying. I'm like, yeah, because you've been doing it a day. Like, it takes time to inspire people. Like, they want to watch your journey. Like, now you're getting people excited. Like, they're watching your journey, they're liking your post. But like, I honestly think, from my experience, and I'm sure Jenny and other coaches who are in this call that have been a coach for a couple of years, it takes a few months to build that momentum and for people to understand that you are genuine about this and you're serious about this business and you're owning it. It's something that you're not just doing. It's like part of you at this point, and you really want to put yourself out there to inspire people. You need to build that, and that's why the consistency is so important. And it's, again, a hard thing because we're not getting that immediate return sometimes on what we're giving. But again, guys, that's not what this is about. You need to give before you get. And I can honestly say that I've never been the type of person that gives things in order to receive them. Even a small gift to someone, like, I don't expect to get a gift in return. And that's how you have to be in this business. We're in this business for helping people and inspiring people. And I know the second in my business where I get greedy because I'm having a tough month and I just need people to order, and I'm like, why are you taking so long? Like, you said you want to order. Why aren't you doing it? It's because I lose that. I lose that feeling of just like wanting to help people, and I'm no longer empowering them and inspiring them. I'm pushing them. So think about that when you guys are having tough moments. And those are the moments that it's hard to kind of take a step back and, focus on really what this business is about and why and what we're trying to do here, and sharing our story and inspiring people. Again, we have a gift. Like, people don't understand the power of doing this. So like, I don't know a percentage of the world, but there's a huge percentage of the world that doesn't benefit from getting the opportunity to pass on their wisdom to others. Like, think of how crazy that is. Like, teachers do, other professions do, but most people don't ever get to share these struggles that they've overcome and ever get to share this part of their story. So that's something really exciting, guys. Like, that's something like, you have the ability to change lives by sharing what you've gone through. And this can be so powerful for people. Resilience is strengthened by recognizing that we're all experts in our own lives, that we all have something to share with people. And when I first read that and wrote it down, I was like, that's interesting, because a lot of the time I don't think of myself as an expert in things in life, but this is the truth. Like, you could say I'm an expert at overcoming bulimia because I went through it and I overcame it on my own. It sounds like a little crazy, guys, but seriously, I could help someone with that. Like, Jenny, part of her story is, I hope you're okay with me sharing this, Jenny, but, part of Jenny's story is overcoming alcohol and being, free from that and not drinking. Like, that is a powerful story. Like, there are a lot of people that are probably sitting at home every day wishing that they could get to that place in their life, whether they realize they have a huge problem or not. Just to be able to have the determination and discipline to do something like that is truly inspiring. So it's those really heartfelt things and powerful things that we've overcome that it really things that we need to be sharing. Understanding that we have this power, this positive power and effect on others. Again, I don't think we think about that enough. Like, we have this positive momentum. There's so much negativity in the world. That's why people follow Beachbody coaches, because, I have people that, again, maybe haven't bought programs from me, but they'll reach out and they'll be like, oh, I just love reading your posts every day. Like, it's so nice to see something positive and uplifting. I wish I could be that positive every day. And what I say to them is, I haven't always been that positive. Like, and I still have my days where I'm just like, I don't know what to post because I'm not feeling too great today, and I don't want it to come across as not genuine because I'm not feeling great. But then the second I get on and I see all of your posts and I remember why I started this, and I remember the things that I've overcome and how I've gotten to where I am today. And I'm like, you know what, Heather, like, how can you not be positive? Like, there's so much positivity around you. Like, talk about that. Talk about the community. And that's the thing. If sometimes you don't have, it's not easy to talk about your own personal story, talk about others. Talk about this community and what it's done for you and that positivity, because we all know it's amazing. And it's a huge part of why I believe that we continue to do this every day, is because we have each other. We have that support. We have that positivity flowing in around us. And it's really hard to be negative when you're surrounded by that positivity. You know, there were some things, the quotes that came to mind when I was thinking about like the power of storytelling. So I want to help other people to have a voice. Think about that. Think of how powerful that is. Think of how many people sit at their shitty job every day, or are miserable, sitting on the couch, or, you know, depressed in bed and can't get out of their own way, and thought of even trying to eat healthy or trying to do a program. They just like don't even have it within them to even think that it's possible. So us sharing these struggles that we've overcome and that we haven't always been there and we're still not perfect, but we push through every day, makes them feel like they can have a voice as well, and makes them feel like they can step up to the plate and also be this strong person and do these things. You know, share that part of your journey. Share, like, I'm not perfect. I'm no better than you. Like, I mean, I think about that all the time. Like, when I have coaches struggling, or when I have challengers struggling, I'm like, you know, I'm here and I'm having the same damn struggles. Like, you know, and maybe I don't share that enough, that the struggles that I have on a daily basis that I'm working hard to overcome. So like those things are so powerful, and we have to reconnect with those. Another quote was, I thought, well, if anyone reads this at all, maybe it will make a difference in their life or make them think. So again, you know, posting with a purpose, but not posting for a sale, like posting understanding that no matter what, you are making a huge difference in people's lives. And I'm telling you right now, if you keep posting, you keep sharing your journey and growing your network, there are people that will reach out to you. Some just take longer than others, but don't give up, because, and I know like the coaches that have been coaches for a while see this kind of momentum. They see that, you know, some people will reach out randomly. We don't expect it. And I always use my coach Jackie as an example because it just blew my mind. Like, I went to high school with this girl. I hadn't talked to her in years. She's never liked one of my posts. We'd never sent a message. I'd never even tried to, you know, probe her and be like, hey, how are you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while. Nothing. And then all of a sudden she just reached out one day and was like, hey, I want to get started with Beachbody and coaching. And I was like, what? Like, so it's like these type of things, like you're inspiring people even though they may not really be showing you at the time. So that's something that honestly, guys, I feel so strongly about, and to always have in the back of your mind when you're posting. It doesn't matter if I get an immediate reaction, I'm making a difference in people's lives. You are positively impacting people's lives in a big way, even if they're not giving you the satisfaction of telling you, which sucks, but I get that. But in your heart, you need to know that you're still doing amazing things for people, okay? The last quote that I wanted to share was, words can touch people, and it all depends on how you want to touch them, good or bad. And this is what I mean, where there's so much negativity in the world, guys. We know people I'm sure we all did it before too, and we weren't on this journey. We all know people use Facebook to be negative, to put out these negative vibes of, oh, I can't believe this is happening today, or yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't even think of negative things because we're so positive. But yeah, I mean, people put all these negative things out there, and you're like, really? Like, do I need to know about your whole relationship that gone bad, or like, yeah, like things like that. It's like, no one needs this negativity. Like, and it's, a lot of it is them crying out. A lot of it is their insecurity of feeling like they need someone to kind of hold their hand through it. So like, why don't we inspire them to flip their mindset and to hold them hand on a positive journey instead of trying to get them through a negative one? You know, the next thing I really want to talk about is finding that voice of yours. And this kind of relates to, you know, finding our brand a bit, but just in a slightly different way, because, you know, finding your voice for what your storytelling is. And I feel really strongly about this. So I could see a post by a coach who's been through an eating disorder, again, using that as an example, and, you know, it could touch me, but the words she used or how she went about it or her story is not my story. So thinking about like what that means for me, what is my voice for this particular event that I went through in my life? Like it means learning how to express yourself and learning how to think about what has happened in your life that makes sense. You know, what makes sense for you to share? You know, how has it affected you in a way that you feel like it can inspire people? Like building structure around like what a traditional story could maybe be. So what is it about your story that stands out and that is unique to you? You know, I wrote like having it have like a beginning, middle, and an end. So you don't want to share a story where you start a story, it sounds pretty, you know, powerful, but then you kind of don't finish with where you're going with it all. So like how you've overcome it or what you've learned from it. Because that's what's inspiring for people, right? Like, yeah, I mean, if you say I had an eating disorder, it might still inspire someone, but sharing the lifelong of that journey and what that journey meant for your life and the changes that how it affected you and how you overcome it, or maybe you haven't overcome it yet, but what you're doing to take steps to get there, that's even more inspiring. Invite someone to join that journey in order to help you guys get there together. That's the other thing to really focus on, guys. You don't need to be at the end of that journey in order to inspire people, and that's something to always remember. You know, people always feel like they need to be at their goal weight or they need to be this perfect person in order to coach. And I'm just like, oh my God, you have it so wrong. Like, am I posting wrong about this? Or am I just like putting my vibes out there wrong? Because like, that's not the case. The struggles that we go through, you know, the adversity in our life, like those are the things that really inspire people. Because again, I mean, I don't think there's really any perfect person in the world. We're all going through struggles at some point in our life. Yes, we become better versions of ourselves, but those are the things that people can relate to. If you're like, I get up every day and I work out and I have 6-pack abs and life is good and I'm doing this, like people are like, okay, well, that's never going to be me. So like, screw her. I'm not following her anymore, because they just think it's a fake. They just think like there's no one that's that happy. They kind of have that attitude. And I'll be honest, I kind of had that attitude some posts from my coach before I started too, because I was like, how is someone this happy? Like, how is someone's life this great? But so it's like kind of having a balance of that, of showing what this opportunity can do for you, but we're still overcoming things as coaches, right? Yeah, I was talking a little, so I wrote down like the first time that I felt like I had my voice. When I really started to dig deep into my story and thinking about like the things that I'd gone through and what I had overcome and how that can inspire others. And again, I mean, as your leader, I still don't feel like I do this enough. And this is something that I want to say too. I think I've been a coach for 2 months and I've gotten stuck on the fact that, oh, I've shared that part of my story, so I just don't think to share it again. Well, the truth is, and someone said to me the other day, you're always adding new followers. You're always growing your network. So you need to share that part of your story again. You need to share your old before and afters that some people may have not seen. Let's be honest. If you have over 1,000 friends, Facebook has this thing where not everyone's going to see your post. It's impossible for that many people to see your post. So they may have not seen it the first time. So that's something to think about too. Don't be scared to share something again. And I mean, you don't have to copy and paste the same post, but share something along those lines again. So I've been inspired to do this, you know, to rethink about, you know, what it is and why I got started and what I was sharing in the beginning. That was really inspiring people and empowering myself in order to be successful in this business, because I was excited. I was excited that I found my voice, and I was excited that I finally got to the point where I was confident enough and inspired enough in order to share these parts of my journey. Like I said, when I finally got the ability to share the story about my eating disorder, like I said, that was a tough one for me. It was really tough. I didn't want to share it. I didn't want to put it out there. But then once I did, it was like a gateway for me. It was like I was owning this part of me. I was no longer a victim of this part of my life. I was a survivor. And that for me was like huge. I was like, if I can share about that, then I can share about basically anything that I feel like I've overcome in order to help people. Force yourself to look into depth at things and what you consider were your struggles and what you see as being important in your life, and start reflecting on that process and posting about it. So again, thinking about this as a well-rounded thing. So like, what are your struggles? What was your journey with that struggle? Did you succeed the first time? That could be a really powerful story. Like, did you try to quit smoking or lose 20 pounds and you failed miserably? Maybe you failed 3 times and you finally got to the point where you succeeded. That's something really positive to share with people, because people don't think that they can do it. They don't think that they can achieve it, and they get scared. This woman admitted me, she actually signed up as a coach today, which I'm so excited. But she admitted to me last week, it was actually my old boss's wife, and she had reached out to me a couple months ago and said that she had just had her 4th child. She wanted to get her body back. And we were talking. I could tell she didn't feel comfortable with me. I didn't know her at all, even though I had worked with her husband, because he had worked in the Texas office, so I didn't see him much. And I didn't hear back from her. She said she wasn't ready. So she reached out 2 months later and said, I have a confession. I bought it from a friend. I'm so sorry, but I've lost 30 pounds. And I've been watching your posts and you're truly inspiring, and I really want to coach now. And I was like, okay. And again, guys, my feeling wasn't anger. My feeling was, wow, I'm upset that I didn't inspire and I didn't make her feel comfortable enough to work with me. Like, that was like my mindset. It wasn't like, oh my God, I can't believe she didn't buy a program from me. Like, I wish I was the one that helped her through that process. But it was, the ability for her to reach out and to be honest with that and to talk about her struggles. And she said to me, the reason why I didn't want to commit with you is because I was scared of failing. I was scared of having that accountability right away. And she knew the friend that she had bought it from, like, wasn't really serious coach. Like, she basically was just buying it and doing it on her own. And luckily she was successful. But that really like hit me, because I don't think I think about that enough. I don't think I think about how scared people are to have a coach. Like, I think of it as this really positive thing. Like, you have this support, you have this knowledge, you have these tools in order to do it. You're not doing it alone. Some people, like she's brought to my attention, was that's something that really scares the shit out of them, because they're not ready. They don't know in their mind if they're ready to commit. She's like, I didn't know if I was able to do it. They have 4 young kids. He had got a job in Colorado, so they were moving, and he moved before her to start the job. So she was with 4 young kids in Texas by herself for a few months, and she still lost 30 pounds. Hello, like, there's a freaking story. Like, I told her, like, you need to share that. Like, that is really powerful. I mean, that's going to empower moms, right? Like, she shares it in the right way where people feel like they can connect with it, and they really feel like they can do this themselves. And it's not like, she doesn't make it sound easy, because it definitely, I'm sure, wasn't easy. So that's just an example of like me understanding like how my journey affected someone, how my conversation affected them, and then the journey that they're going to be able to tell, which is so powerful. When you're thinking about your journey, reaffirm your values too, guys. I know some coaches are really great about sticking to their values and what's true to them and what means to them in their posting, but like, what are the things you've learned about yourself through writing and storytelling and through this journey? Do you feel like things have changed over time? Do you feel like you're still true to your values? Or you can kind of confused at where you are at because they are changing. I think that's a hard thing for coaches. I think your journey changes so much and your values can change with that. And some people not are scared by that, but I think that they sometimes don't know what that means for them. And how is my journey evolving? And how am I going to now share that part of my journey? So think about those things too, and think about your priorities in life and what that means for you. And again, this takes some reevaluating sometimes, because maybe your priorities aren't what they were when you started as a coach. So, your posts are going to be slightly different for that reason, and how you put your story out there and how you talk to people. So take some time to focus on your values and like what that means to your story. Think about what is most valuable to you. Like, are you living up to the expectations you were setting for yourself? And is that coming across in your posts for people? And lastly, like the most important thing for me, guys, is finding that peace and finding that hope, within your journey and sharing. Like, what's the difference between someone who has achieved resilience and someone who has not? Like, you can probably see it in someone's post. You can see, the ownership they're putting out there, and if they really truly are passionate and connected with their journey, and what they've overcome, and they're excited to, share that with people. Like if you still don't have that comfort within your journey, and you still don't think that you're inspiring, other people probably aren't going to either. And like, it's not me trying to be mean. It's just like, I want you guys to understand, like, what you put out there is your vibe. Like, like we always say, your vibe attracts your tribe. Like, I mean, you're taking time every day to post on social media to inspire people. So make sure it's inspiring. Don't waste your time doing something that, isn't targeting or isn't achieving what you guys really want to achieve. One important difference, I think, is with someone who's really putting themselves out there, is the well-being and thinking about, like, they're well-rounded as a person. Like I said, they've dug deep into their past, and they've learned from it, and they understand what that means for them. And, again, I mean, maybe they've overcome their struggles, maybe they're still working on them, but really digging deep and understanding what that means in order to be able to share it. So maybe, writing down the struggles you feel like you've had, and then, okay, that struggle, what was my journey with that struggle? What did I go through? Did I achieve it right away? What did I have to overcome? Am I still working on that struggle? Has that struggle changed for me? Like, so dig deep into these things. It will make it easier for you and more confident for you to share them and to feel like you're inspiring people. People have found their voice through that, by connecting with their values, by sharing their story. It gives you a sense of peace and hopefulness. Like I said, like when I was able to share parts of my story, I immediately felt this like weight lifted off me, because it was just such a positive experience. And to be honest, I'd be shocked by coaches who said they didn't have an extremely positive experience when they shared results or before and afters. Like, I think I've seen like a few negative comments in my 2 years as a coach saying that someone's pushing out their stomach. I think it was one of my coach Elizabeth's posts. But to be honest, guys, like that kind of comment is bullshit anyway. It's like, if you don't want to be talking to that person anyway. This guy was like a pompous ass, and I was just like, everyone was like feeding into him. I'm like, just let it go. Like, like, just be proud of what you've accomplished for yourself, and know, like, it took you a long time. It wasn't easy to share those results, and you know what you did. And that's the most important thing, guys. When you're sharing, when you're putting yourself out there, you know what you're putting out there, or you should. Don't put anything out there that doesn't give you this feeling that it's so true to you that, can you guys still hear me? It says I'm unstable. It's so true to you that it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. Like, I put something out there, I get negative feedback. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm owning that. Like, I had to overcome that. Like, this wasn't easy for me, and I'm proud of where I am. You need to be proud of your journey. You need to be proud of where you are, to the point that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what these people are thinking. To be honest, guys, like, they're not the ones you're trying to inspire anyway. These are the people that just choose to be negative in their life, and they're not open to making a change at this point. Maybe they never will be. Hopefully they will, for their sake. That makes me really sad. But, don't allow for these people to bring you down, because there's 500 people for that one person who you are inspiring every day, and that wants to be a part of your journey. And, bring them into your life. Let them step into your journey. Help them. Don't worry about the other people. It doesn't matter. And, the hard part is, if it's a friend or a family member, that's something that we could discuss, but usually it's not. Usually the people that love you, that are close to you, they're going to support you. They may not buy the programs, but they're definitely going to support you. They're going to be proud of you for putting yourself out there to empower and inspire others. So sit down and write down, like, what you think is going to give you peace. Like, what is going to give you peace in your journey? Are there still things that you feel like, you're struggling with, and you feel like you haven't shared, and you want to share, and you're trying to overcome that, and you're trying to deal with it? Like, let's talk about it. Reach out to me. I'm happy to get you to the place where you feel like this is something that's empowering and inspiring, that you want to put out in the world, that you you get the positive power that this could bring to others and what it could do for them. I mean, you literally, even if you're changing one life by that story, it's one life, guys. Like, that's a powerful, incredible thing. Hopefully it's more, but regardless, I mean, you're making a difference in people's lives. I mean, part of my story, it was getting over anger that I had with things that I had gone through and allowing myself to get to that place, like being in debt and, you know, drinking too much and allowing people to take advantage of me and not having respect for myself. So, like, you know, think about these things, like dig deep and think, like, do you still have anger over these things? And maybe that anger is coming from you not feeling that peace and not being able to put it out there. Or at least, you know, have that peace within yourself. And, you know, if you can't get to the point where you're sharing it on social media right away, share it with your coach. Like, take those baby steps. Like, you know, share it with someone, share it with another coach who you've seen their journey. Like, you know, this is something that I actually saw about in a leadership post, leadership page the other day. I was so inspired by, because again, I mean, I keep going back to it, but my eating disorder was one of the big things that's hard for me. And this coach wrote this such inspiring post, and I was like, we need to connect, because I need to understand and get to a point where I feel more comfortable sharing more of this story. So reach out to other coaches who you feel like can kind of guide you and help you with that, and you can relate to and make you feel that comfort and understand that, wow, there are other people out there that have gone through this too, which that opens up your mind to thinking how many other people are going through this that are still struggling that I can help. So it kind of just has that, like, you know, opportunity to kind of like network with them and kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like mastermind with them to like get yourself to that point and understand that people have been through the same things. You know, letting loose of that anger and creating that peace within you is going to have a huge mindset change for you guys. And it's going to open up this opportunity for you just to start living and planning for the future and thinking about, you know, wow, look how much I've overcome and look what this has done for my life and where I am now. And wow, like, that's incredible. Like, when you feel that energy in yourself, and don't feel bad about that, guys, like, give yourself a pat on the back. Like, I know it's hard, like, to be like, yeah, go me. But like, seriously, like, we've all gone through a lot. We're all going through things and you're overcoming it. Like, every month you hit Success Club, every month you help others. Be proud of that. Pat yourself on the back. Be excited, you know, but also push to help more people. Think, wow, don't think, oh, I've helped 3 people. Good, I can stop. Think about how many more people you can help if you just keep putting yourself out there and keep the positivity and keep sharing your story. And for those that still struggle, I want to end with this quote. You know, if you're struggling to overcome challenges still, and it's difficult for you to think about what you're posting every day, and you're worried about what other people are thinking of you, think about this quote. Your story hasn't been written yet. The final chapter hasn't been written yet. So basically what it's saying is, you know, this is not the end of your journey. This is not the end of your story. The end of your story has not been written yet, guys. So you have the power and the opportunity to write that. Like, that's pretty awesome. So, like, share that with people. Share where your journey started, you know, what it's gone to and where it's going. You know, the when, the, you know, the middle and the end, you know, the past, the middle, and the end. Share that with people, inspiring them to come on that journey with you, you know, and tell them, like, your journey's not over either. It's crazy how many people have lost hope at my age or younger, or even in their 50s. Like, there's so much life still to live, and people just lose hope and they just think, I'm just going to accept my life for what it is right now. And this is fine. Like, my life is good. Well, let's get your life to great. Let's get your life to friggin' fantastic. Like, that's something to be excited about. People need to understand that they can do that for themselves. And we need to help them to understand that by sharing our journey and sharing what we've overcome, and maybe sharing that we didn't think it was possible either. You know, I know for myself, like I said, when I started watching my coach's post, I had moments where I was like, she's a liar. Like, this doesn't exist. Like, I was that negative Nancy because I was so miserable. I didn't think that this was possible. I didn't think something could be so positive and, it could create this personal and financial freedom. Like, I really didn't believe in the opportunity until I took the time to listen to her. So, I mean, speak to that through your posts. Like, get honest with people and tell them. I mean, if you felt this way, I don't know if you guys did, but like, I feel like I should share that, like, and share that, like, yeah, I thought this was, a scheme too. I thought this was fake, but it's not. It's real, and we all, sorry, my last thing, and I'm choking. It's real and it's powerful and it's such a great opportunity. And, I want you guys all to take advantage of that and to inspire people with your posts and to get excited about that and to remind yourself that this is a gift. So, thank you guys so much for calling in. If you guys have any questions or, want to say anything, feel free to unmute yourself. It's good to see you, dude. I think Lindsay and Jenny had to sign off, but all right, if you guys don't really have anything, I'll share the recording and the page for everyone else, and I'll chat with you guys this week and reach out if you guys need anything. I'm always here, so let me know.
Thank you.
Close out the month strong. We still have a few hours. All right, I love you. Bye.
Bye.